There are times when you just got to feel like you're making some progress. I took the bonnet off so that I could try to deal with the clutch. Since I've got it off, I thought, well, why don't we tidy it up a bit. So we got some rust patches underneath that need dealing with. I don't think it should be too hard. I think mostly it's just cleaning it. Clearly we've got, I'm not sure how it quite goes together, because it looks like it's a frame with a skin on the outside. But let's clean up the rust while we little glue this down, then have another look at it. Actually, even this is a bit worse condition than I thought. Take a bit more work than I'd hoped, but so we've got a bit here. We're going to clearly have to cut out the underneath all the way up and around. I'll do my usual thing. I think I won't try to do that in one go. Do a piece along here, maybe a piece across and then a piece over, or something like that. Here, just a small bit to go in, slightly longer along here and here. Then along the sides, I think possibly a bit needs to be done there. Have to clean that out a bit more. The front underneath, let's get some light in there. So I've given it a quick, I don't think I need to replace any metal in there, which is good. Okay, but clean up that rust, paint some converter on. Then on the other side, got a bit here that's getting a bit holy, so that will need doing. And the rest of this side is actually in decent nick, apart from this top corner. So, whilst I'm pondering what next on the clutch, since we've got this off, we're going to set about trying to clean it all up. Okay, starting here, problem I have trying to cut this bit out, so I don't have a small enough tool to just come up here. So I'm actually going to have to cut across and then weld it back in. Yuck. Oh well, we'll do what we have to do. I have just blown the motor on this, I think. It's all plugged in. And it was, as I was cleaning this up here, which is proving to be bigger than I had anticipated or thought. It's a bit lacy, it's spreading. And as I was doing it, I managed to get the wire wheel caught in this, which instantly wrapped around it, blew the motor. So that was a 40-year-old drill. So I guess I'll have to get something a bit more modern. I might just check the fuse, make sure it wasn't the fuse that went, but I think that's gone, which is a shame. So I've got myself a new drill. There it is, very nice. And so what have I done? I've done that fix there. This one, which proved to be a lot bigger, and this one here, and I'm using this one right now to earth it. I've still got this piece over here to go on this side. As you can see, I put a lot of rusting stuff, converter. So I've still got this side, this bit to do. I've got to do that far corner, and I've got to do that far corner. And then I've got to decide if I'm going to do some of these edge bits here, which, they're here. They obviously need doing at some point. I can't get it in there. They obviously need doing at some point, and so, but I just don't know if my skill set's quite there to do this little bit without cutting into the skin of the bonnet. Although, you know, I've managed to cut through these and get there. So I've managed to cut through this bit and get there without cutting into the skin, so maybe I'll be okay. As you can see, I've not bothered to grind most of it down, but I have ground down the top just to... I'm not really fussed what it looks like underneath, so that's partly why. But I'm trying to practice a bit grinding down the top, which you can see is getting better. And the reason for that is when I start doing the rear driver's sill, I'm going to need to be able to grind on the outside, so I might as well get some practice in. So we're going to stop now for today. Getting a bit tired. Football on tonight, American football on tonight, so we're going to have a break. So this will be the last patch on this side, down at the front. And we've done 2 little pieces for that. We've got one that goes across and up, and then we've got a second one for this section here. So we're going to weld those in now, and then move on to the next bit. There we go, that's bit's done. Again, I don't have anything to get in and grind this stuff, but across the top, I'm not going to touch it because I think it's probably still hot. It's pretty flat. A little bit of a dent in there, but that would be filled up with filler if I was worried about that on this side. So we're going to turn the bonnet around, and we're going to look at the other side now and see what needs doing over there. So we seem to only have 2 bits that need doing on this side. I'm going to have to cut out here, so we'll come out to about here and go down and around, and then we've got this bit over here. Yeah, so I think everything else really is passable. This bit here, I don't know if I pointed it out very well. Everything else is passable. I have noticed that we've got bracket holder here, like that side, but I don't have a bracket on this side, and there certainly isn't one on the car. So I don't know if it's meant to have one on either side. It would certainly make the hood go up more stably, but we'll see. Not something I need to worry about right now. So there's one bit done. Looks okay. The other bit, I decided to try to grind down some of these, and I managed to not pay attention to what I was doing. As you can see, I went into the bit of the bonnet there. Bum. Oh well, we can fix that. But before we do, it's time to take a break. This was a lot rustier. You can actually, I've got to do some more work around here because just welding it created more holes. I had the same problem over here, but was able to move out the weld and patch it up. So I've had that in a couple of places, to be honest, but for the most part it's looking okay. So we're going to take a break now, have a cup of coffee, and then we'll come back and decide what to do next. So we took the hardware off, lost a screw, fell into a hole, but that's been sanded down and derusted. We've got it all on. We've cleaned off the underside and put any deruster on there. We've just put some filler over some of those scratches and holes. So tomorrow this will get sanded down and down to a nice smooth finish, and we will then look to paint it. Probably the last thing we try to paint this year because it's beginning to get a bit too cool, but I thought we would have a go at this. So I've spent the last 2 or 3 hours now sanding. I've got rid of all the, I haven't got rid of the filler, but the filler is now, the bonnet is now flat. We'll just dry it, well, getting it cleaned off in the rain. And it's been painted, not painted, it's been sanded with 180 grit. So I want to now put high build primer on those bits which aren't black. And I just need to check if that wants to go on to 180 or if I need to sand the whole thing to 320 first, or even 400. So I'm going to check on that and have a bit of a break. And then I will come down back and do whatever's necessary there. Okay, so yeah, it should be okay over these bits to do it in high build primer. So this is what we're going to do. I'm not doing the whole thing because I'm doing it from a spray can. So I'm just going to spray those bits that need it, and hope that when I then sand it down further, I'll be okay for the rest of it. So if not, I'll have to buy a proper set of high build primer, but this is to get us through the winter. Well, it's fair to say I've applied that badly. It's possibly a little bit too cold, hence the runs, I don't know. Oh dear. Or maybe just I got too close. Anyway, it doesn't matter because I'll get sanded down. And then we'll have a look at it. I might do a bit more, let this dry, get another coat on there. Or I might leave it at that and then sand it tomorrow. Right, so we've gone over that with 320, 400 and 600 grit twice. You can see a few places where we've gone back through the high build primer. And although you see the runs there, you can't feel them at all. So I think when, so I said that, and then I think maybe I can just feel a bit of that. Right, I have to have a think now. Let's close my eyes and try again. Yeah, one there, one there. Right, so we're going to sand that a bit more actually. But having done that, hopefully we'll manage to get outside and paint it. Yeah, I can definitely feel that one. Okay, right. Not quite where I thought I was. Okay, so we're ready to paint. I've also got the underside ready, although I won't be doing that yet, but you can see I've taped it off. And we'll paint the top and then we'll go and do the underside afterwards. So quick tack rag, paint is mixed, pour the paint in and let's have a go. I'm not sure what's happened here. The first 3 coats went on really nicely. And then the fourth one, I don't know if you can see, but it's come out with much thicker bits and pieces, so I don't know if that means I've got thick paint in there or it's settled or something, or beginning to dry. Oh, bum. Oh well. I still got paint in there, so I've got more to do. So I had a few bugs landing, and once the first coat went on, you could see where actually we did have 1 or 2 problems. So we got a slight dent just here, which I had noticed, but had hoped would not show up. And actually you can see a bit of a run in just here. But mostly the issue was bugs. So we're going to have to, well, see what we do. But I've still got paint, so I'm going to finish it off, I think, and hope it doesn't make it really bad. Okay, so lessons I've learnt is, look at that paint in there getting very thick. So I clearly, and it won't spray any longer, I clearly mixed up too much paint, and that's why it started coming out like that. It's going on too thick, it's already dried, so I need to mix less going forward. There's me trying to save time, dumb ass. Okay, so I've just spent 2 hours cleaning up my gun. Basically the paint was drying and that's why I got this mess coming out. Bugger me. I was doing this in order to feel like I was making a step forward. I think that's how I started the video. Sometimes you just got to feel like you're making progress. And so I was doing something a bit different to do that. And I'm not feeling that just now. And I even had Alexia leaning out of the window after the first couple of coats saying, wow, that looks good. Really reflective and everything. Right, so I did learn something. Don't mix so much paint. Don't let it dry. Bloody obvious really. I don't know quite why I would think it would last as long as it needed to for this. So we're going to have to let that now harden off. And once it's hardened, I guess I need to decide if I want to try, well, I'll see what it feels like. And I guess if it feels rough, I'm going to take some 600 grit to it maybe, or maybe 1000, and see if we can sand it and then polish it up to a shine. I think that's going to be the only way. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do. So that means leaving it for at least 24 hours. And I'm going to struggle to do anything else in that time, which is a shame. Because I've got the car pushed right back into the garage, so I can barely move at the other end at the moment. In order to have it standing up here. So there we are. Alright. Well, this could well be a texture some people go for. It's got that feel that you often see down in the protection area. So, you know, when you're trying to protect the car a bit. So we're going to have to sand this quite heavily. I think I'm going to start with 1,000 grit, and if it's not making any difference, I'm going to go down to a 600. And if that's not doing it, then I'll go down further. But I'm going to start with 1,000, which I think is not going to be. I think it's going to be too fine. So we might end up having to paint again, but we'll see where we get to. Right, I'm not sure if this will come out on camera, but I've sanded it now with 1,000 grit, and I've gone this way, this way, this way, that way. And if each one of those is called 1, so that would have been 4 I've just shown you, I have probably gone over this maybe 14, 16 times, something like that, with 1,000 grit, and it is improving. It's easier to see with a bit of water on there, in fact, because, you know, for now you can actually, you know, see a bit of reflection beginning to try to come through in places. So it is improving, but very slowly. And so I need to think about, do I try to speed up and go down, or do I continue very slowly through the 1,000 grit? You know, they always tell you not to skip grits, and so going down actually might be fine. But it might take off too much. And that's the bit, 'cause, you know, if I'm going to get there slowly. So whilst I think about that, I'm going to have a little bit of a break. I've got a bit of work that's just come in that I need to do. And that'll give me time to think about it, because if I'm just thinking, oh, I'll skip down to a 600 because I'm beginning to get bored and tired, and this is the most boring thing, then taking a break's the right thing to do. So we'll see. I decided to go back to 600 grit. I've probably done about 10 times over it with that, and then I've gone over it with 1,000 about 4 more. You can see where it's wet actually. It does look better than it did. Let's dry it. It looks dreadful, but that's okay. So although it looks better, it's still not perfect, but you can see over in this corner here, we're getting back down to metal, which, so what I'm going to do is from here I'm going to go to 1200, 2000 and 3000, maybe not go to the 3, maybe just to 2, and I'll do it maybe 4 times with each of those, so 1200 and 2000, and then we'll go for a buffer and we'll see what it looks like at that point and whether or not I've saved it. If it's close, then I might risk taking it down again and have another go. If it's nowhere near, because I've got this little bit of metal showing through, I'll go down to a 300, 320 grit, or even a 180, and really get it out and then paint again. What a pain. But you know, we are learning. Even a really bad paint job looks like it can be saved to some extent, hopefully. We'll see. Okay, so we've done up to 2000. I have hopes that we'll have saved it. So I'm now going to start with, well, dry it off, and then I'll have a go with the compound and see what kind of reflection we can get from it. Right, so I've tried some compound on the top, not on the bottom. I've gone over it a couple of times and we're a long way from a nice finish. So I'm not sure what to do. I think what I might try, we've also, actually it's really highlighted, we've got this bit here, this bit are all slightly lowered, and really should get some filler to flatten it out. But right, so I think what we're going to do is I'm going to try, just on the top, I'm going to go over it with 600 again, 1000, 1200, 2000. We'll see if that makes any improvement, because these videos actually do show the change, and if that works then we'll progress on. If it doesn't make much of an improvement, then I think we might have to look at really cutting it back and painting again, which is where I think I'm going to end up, but you know, we try to save it first. Right, I'm just slowly working this top with 600 grit, and what I want is a super matte finish. So the matte finish then allows you to bring it to a shine. So for example here I need quite a lot of work. You can see some spots along here, yeah, some spots in here, so I need to get rid of all of those, and I want it, and I've been working on this area, but I want it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work the top with 600 and try to get to that matte finish, doing it slowly, and then once I've done that I'll have a think about going to some of the higher grits just to finish it off, just at the top again, see if I can get the shine, and if I can, we'll apply it the rest, and if I can't, right, I'm getting really tired. But this, got a couple, I guess, of spots in here still have quite a lot there, and then we've got 3 little dinks in the bonnet, 1, 2, 3, which doesn't get into. We've got a bit of shine here and a bit more over here, so I'm wondering whether to try the compound and see how this side on the left comes up. because that'll give me a decent idea. And but then as I'm looking, I'm thinking, well, actually, no, this isn't quite there yet. What I can say is this feels smoother. Does it? Yeah, I think this feels smoother up top than down below, so that's probably a good thing. It certainly feels smoother than these little holes. So, no, you know what, we're not going to worry about it tonight. We're going to stop now. Tired, I'm meant to be playing tennis tonight. So, we'll stop and we'll have a look in the morning. Or Saturday. Okay, it's Saturday, didn't come out yesterday. We're still working on trying to fix this, and so it's fairly matte now up here, but we've still got some around the top, which, I mean, some which are actually holes, and others which I can just work through. So, and this is 600 I've been using, so I'm going to go over this a bit more, see if I can get rid of the shine there. You know, all the way down to maybe this level here, where you can see the difference, and you can see a big difference. And then I'll go over that with 12 and 2000. We'll try buffing it at that point, and we'll see if that's worked. And if that doesn't work, we're going to take 320 to the whole lot, or even maybe 180, and then go up to 320, and then paint again. So those are the two choices. Right, well, I just did it at 600 and tried it, and I mean, that's very blurry. And I've gone 400 down below here, and so many spots still. So I've decided I'm going down to 320. I'm going to clear off the spots, and then I'm going to paint again. So I've decided to go for another repaint. Okay, so we've put a coat on. That looks better. A few spots, which I think is bugs landing on here very quickly. Not a lot I'm going to be able to do about that. I could try sanding it afterwards or something, but right now this looks better than what I was getting, so we're going to stick with that. Yeah, interestingly, look, so I don't know if you can see it, but down at the bottom you can still see how it was on thicker before. I didn't sand it down as much, and at this side it looks a bit better. But there we are. I've also discovered I'm out of 2K thinner. I've used a bit of base coat thinner for this, so I need to order some more. Okay, so that's 2 coats. So what I'm going to do, it's actually, I think, gone on pretty well, but I have got lots of bugs in there, so still I'll live with it, at least for the time being. It's not as good as I did the bumper, which I wasn't pleased with. Not the bumper, oh my god, is that rain? Oh no, a tiny bit of water just landed on there. That's going to ruin it. Ah, sugar. Oh, it's still coming. Right, what a disaster. Right, well, I managed to lift it from underneath and bring it inside, but you see those dots in there? That's little tiny droplets of rain landing. Oh well, it is what it is now. It's getting too cold to try again, just too late in the year, so I'll have to live with it. Perhaps this is how I should have painted it before. Got it in the garage, hanging up, and we're about to paint this side as well, and then we'll be done with the bonnet. Alright, so that's got 3 coats on. So nice and black now, so you can't see oil. Anyway, so it doesn't look bad, and we have a reasonable reflection on the other side despite the spots of water, but you know, I mean, well, you can see the reflection there, so that's pretty good. So we're going to live with that, and there are a few dents in the bonnet, 1, 2, 3 and one down here, 4. That's okay. Be nice to get to a point where I'm saying, oh, I really don't like it, I'm really dissatisfied, but we're not there. So when I painted this earlier, I completely forgot to paint the hardware that goes with it, just one little piece, so that's going to get painted now just in satin black, because I'm not doing the air compressor just for one piece like this. Okay, so there it is back on, looks okay, pretty much the same colour as the other one. So not bad, not perfect, but from a distance it looks okay. Yeah, quite happy.